This is inverse sine, sorry. We're asked to find the derivative of y with respect to x here. So to do that, we can use what our textbook has previously derived for us. If you're trying to find the derivative with respect to x that's inverse sine x, okay? And by the way, if you're not sure what inverse sine is, look back when you were solving trig equations, sine theta equals 2 over 5. If you want to get theta by itself, you'd use inverse sine in your calculator, right? Because inverse sine of regular sine, they're inverses of one another, so it would cancel out. You'd use that inverse sine to both sides. Okay, so that's the same inverse sine we're talking about in this equation. So to find its derivative, I'm really plugging it into the formula, but note that this is the derivative of inverse sine of just x. Okay, because we're taking the derivative of something where x squared is in the argument, we need to use the chain rule. At the end, we're going to multiply this derivative by 2x, by the derivative of the inside. Okay, so to find this derivative, I'm going to use the derivative of inverse sine. It's 1 over the square root of 1 minus. Now watch out here. I'm not putting x squared. This is my argument. You know, x was the original argument. You just put x in here and then square it. In my problem, I'm squaring x squared, so this is x to the fourth. Okay. And then we also need to multiply that by the derivative of the innermost function, like we said. So the derivative of x squared is 2x. It's the chain rule happening. So the biggest thing when you're doing the derivative of inverse trig functions is you got to remember the chain rule. Okay. And so that's probably pretty good. I'll look in the book to see if there's any way they wanted to simplify it. In the bottom, you could factor that as, that won't help you. You could factor out x to the fourth. I think it's going to be yuckier, but look, this is fine, okay? But if a textbook wants you to rewrite it somehow, look in the bottom, I could factor out x to the fourth from both those terms, but it's looking uglier when you do that. So I don't think any textbook would actually want you to do that. I can factor out the x to the fourth. I divide 1 by x to the fourth, I've got 1 over x to the fourth. X to the fourth, divide by x to the fourth, I get 1. And I factor that out because I know the square root of x to the fourth. You could break that up as two separate square roots, but that's getting uglier. So this is probably the cleanest answer.